So I'm sitting here saying, what the hell is he talking about? I don't mind you being stupid. I don't mind you being dumb. I don't mind you not knowing what the fuck you're talking about, but keep my name out your mouth when you don't know what you're talking about. Keep my name and my image. Don't try to on my work when I won championships on every level. On every level. When they get knocked out. I call passes in the midst of pain. Y'all don't do that. Y'all ain't never had to do that. So shut the hell up.
Well, Cowboys Nation, as you can see, we have a lot to talk about. So stay dialed in for this episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast.
How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Staunchest means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's when we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and you're listening to a special edition of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, the place to find my raw and uncut in podcast form. And I say special edition because today's episode is going to be a little different, Cowboys Nation. I usually talk about a few topics, then I go into the mailbag, but I feel like I have to address the situation because I completely get where Michael Irvin is coming from. So today's episode is going to talk about the explosion from the playmaker Michael Irvin on his YouTube channel. The playmaker went scorched earth on a podcast called, coincidentally, Facts Over Feelings. I honestly thought that he was talking about myself and Sports Junkie until I watched the entire rant. During said podcast, the gentleman talked about Deion Sanders and if he would be able to keep up in today's NFL against today's wide receivers. The podcast gave examples of the competition Sanders was up against, naming Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice, saying that they were slow. Lord have mercy, Cowboys Nation. Playmaker had to exercise a few demons on this video. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, then y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and give an in-depth, raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what the playmaker had to say.
We are the 2 most accomplished receivers in the history of this game. When you're talking about the most important things, championships, and your stupid ass talking about running fast, like people weren't running fast back then. Are you shitting me? Why do you talk on a microphone? Why do you have a microphone? What the hell are you talking about? I don't even know your name. And I certainly don't know your game because I don't see you every year with a gold jacket in that Hall of Fame room. I don't see you anywhere great players are. So who the fuck are you to talk about what? Deion Sanders couldn't cover these guys today. First of all, I'm going to do just like the airlines tell you. What does the airlines tell you when you're on the airline? If we have a problem, put the mask on yourself, then put it on your kids or any loved ones who are with you. So I'm going to save me in this dumb shit, and then I'm going to talk about time in it and save him from this dumb shit.
Cowboys Nation, I knew Michael Irvin could get wild, but I've honestly never seen this man get this worked up, especially y'all seeing a podcast clip. But I certainly get where he's coming from. I see the anger with this take. These men went out of their way to put their bodies on the line each and every week to get spoke about like that on the podcast, to get spoke about as if you didn't perform your job at a high level. Having people speak on your accomplishments as if it's easy to do what you did. Fans see this every time they turn on the 3 and 4 letter networks. People talking as if they could do what you pros do in less time. I mean, it really makes me shake my head, playmaker. But jumping into the second clip, Michael Irvin has got time to school these podcasters on how he played the game back in the day. So let's go ahead and take a listen so we can come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
Let me tell you something, Holmes. Let me tell you something. And the Bible says it. He that argues with a fool may be considered a fool. But I'm ready to be a fool today. Like, dude, do you really know what you're talking about? Do you really have any clue at what you're talking about? You think there were not fast guys in the league when I played? You think Tyreek Hill can outrun an Olympian like Bullet Bob Hayes, who played before me? You think he can outrun the Ronaldo Nehemiahs who tried to play in this game? You know why he tried? Because they wanted speed in the game, but other things were required when we played. You mugs get to run around and play fucking 7-on-7 touch football. We had pain in our game, and y'all don't even know shit about pain. Every route you got hit, even running around in the middle of, you could get tapped by those linebackers. They took all of that out the game because y'all asses were soft and you couldn't take it.
Damn, playmaker. Shit, I didn't know you was gonna go scorched earth like that. But just witnessing the game back in the 90s, I bet you players hoped that they went home in one piece before the game. I mean, you can go on YouTube and check out the hits that the players took as wide receivers. Hits that were delivered from defensive backs and linebackers. Blindside hits, pancakes, hits that would be considered hitting a defenseless player today. Those players in the 90s went through hell to allow the players of today to enjoy heaven, to enjoy the rules that protect them from injury, stricter enforcement of said rules. Players of today have a great respect for the ones that came before them. It's some of the fans that make these types of comparisons and scenarios that make it hard for each generation to get along. It's all fun and games until you offend the person that you're actually talking about in your video. But jumping into the last clip, Michael Irvin refuses to allow his name to be minimized by today's podcasters. So let's go ahead and take a listen so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
Trying to shit on my career, on what I have done. You or none of these fucks could play and do the things I did, so shut the hell up. Sick of this shit. I take it, I listen. What about talking about where you caught more pat? I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about none of that. I won championships. That means I went in and made plays where pain lived. Y'all can't do that. Y'all ain't never did that. Y'all don't have to do that. You don't practice worth of shit. You don't take no hits. Anybody touch you, you throw a flag. You understand what I'm saying? Stop, man. Stop. I ain't trying to put nobody down, but I ain't gonna stay down and let you put me down. Are you joking? Are you joking?
You see, Cowboys Nation, I hate when fans compare generations, when they compare players from one generation to the other. There's absolutely no way of finding out the comparison if it were true, if it could be true. There's no way of finding that out unless you play, Ultimate Team in Madden or 2K or something. But the comparisons, they start to form a rift within the sport. So if you're comparing Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice to players of today, then like Michael Irvin did, he's going to take offense to that. And then he's going to say what he said in this last clip. And then players of today are going to get offended to what he said as well. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get right into it. Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
Man, keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation, first and foremost, I got to tell y'all that it is 1:53 a.m. where I am. That's why I'm kind of quiet, and my grandkids are sleeping in the living room, so I don't want to be too loud to wake them up. They got school in the morning. But Lord have mercy, Cowboys Nation. The playmaker went off on them boys. Facts over feelings? They kind of awakened the beast when he got a hold of their content. Unfortunately, this is what it's all about when it comes to content. People are forever comparing these athletes of today to the athletes of yesterday. Whether it's in the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, boxing, shoot, even hip-hop. People love to stir up the pot. They love to stir up controversy in order to get a few likes and a few clicks on their content. Little do they know, these players that they're talking about may come across the content that they're talking about them on, and they may feel disrespected in the end. Shoot, I got a taste of that myself when I made this funny little video about a player getting hit, and I mistakenly named the wrong player. The player that I named commented on my video and told me that I needed to get my facts straight before I put his name in my mouth. No diddy. Best believe I learned a lesson that day though, Cowboys Nation. But for those who know, the NFL today is nothing like the NFL of yesterday. Today, there are so many rules that protect a player where those rules were in place when the players like Michael Irvin or Jerry Rice, when they played. It wasn't as easy as going across the middle during those days. If you went across the middle and a player like Ray Lewis, he was in the middle, he would make you pay for it. There wasn't rules set in place to protect the wide receivers. Now, you have hitting a defenseless receiver where those types of hits were praised by the fans and by the coaches when Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice played. But they spoke about the players of today having speed where the players of yesterday were slow. I'm sorry, but have y'all seen the padding that those players used to wear back in the days? Those big old shoulder pads that you saw, the shoulder pads and the big ass helmet? They were super big, and I'm surprised anybody could run in those shoulder pads in the 90s. But also, I believe that a player's combine speed is a non-factor in a real game. Sure, you can have that breakaway speed, but you gotta get the ball in your hands before you can have the breakaway speed on display. Also, even with the streamlined design of the shoulder pads and the helmets of today's game, it still slows a player with a 4.2 in the 40 down to about a 4.6 in the 40. That 40 time doesn't place a defensive back in your face jamming you at the line of scrimmage either. The only time you'll see a player's full speed in the game is when they're breaking away from a defender and making a house call. You won't see that full speed from a running back who just received a handoff in the backfield or a receiver doing a bubble screen or something. And some of the best players in history, they weren't even fast, Cowboys Nation. Even in today's game, you have some of the best running backs and the best wide receivers who aren't flash on the field. Sure, I mean, you got players like Kevontae Turpin or Tyreek Hill or even Micah Parsons that are fast when they're running with no pads on or there's no opponent in their face. In game time, you will barely see a player who runs a 4.2 hit that same speed on game day. I can list the players who weren't fast but will put your ass in a blender out there on the field. Players the likes of Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Cortland Sutton. And let's not act as if the GOAT Tom Brady was a speedster either. Did it matter in his quest to becoming a champion 7 times over? No, Cowboys Nation, it didn't. Even though speed may be great, it's not the deal breaker in a person's career trajectory. But what kind of irritates me about what the playmaker showed us was how this podcaster was comparing players of today to players of yesterday, but disrespecting the players of yesterday to prove their point. They picked the wrong players to prove their point with. Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice? 2 of the most accomplished wide receivers of their era? I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation, but you just don't do that. You just don't disrespect the people that blazed the trail for these wide receivers of today. Or maybe you do for shock value. But this is why I have an issue with the GOAT conversation, no matter the sport, Cowboys Nation, if it's basketball or if it's the NFL. People put LeBron James up against Michael Jordan all the time. Fans of Michael Jordan would disrespect LeBron James in order to support Michael Jordan and vice versa when each fan base is missing the point that both players are stars in their own right. Both will end up in the Hall of Fame once LeBron James actually retires from the NBA. Shoot, Dak Prescott gets compared to every great quarterback that's played the game, past and present, and I'll keep it a buck. Comparison is the thief to joy. But I'm a fond believer that if you're going to talk sports, try to elevate the sport instead of trying to tear it down. Try educating your audience instead of just entertaining them. They can get that entertainment from Stephen A. Smith or the Talking Heads over on the 3 and 4 letter network. They're going to come to YouTube for a different perspective than the 3 and 4 letter networks. And my advice to the playmaker, you allowed them boys to knock you off your square. You allowed them boys to knock you off your pivot. You allowed them boys to get super publicity off your frustration, my brother. Now they can just clip that, you saying their podcast name, and they can get so much promotion from that. You know, I'm not Obi-Wan Kenobi in this content creation space, but what I've realized is the fact that people will make videos and say anything they can in order to get engagement and interactions. Debate's the new form of entertainment. People like confrontation when it's not them. The back and forth is entertainment. As a small YouTube content creator that supports Dak Prescott, the negativity infects the comment section, in turn affecting the content creator. You gotta have thick skin in order to do it and it not drive you crazy. But some people get off seeing anger. Some people get off seeing frustration. I mean, I know that there's some people that came over to my channel thinking that I was going to be smashing my TV every time the Cowboys lost. People like the frustration. You're a 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler with 3 Super Bowl championships on your resume. You have been out there making a difference in the sport that you played. Each night, you get to go and look yourself in the mirror knowing that you were at the mountaintop in college and in the NFL. It should be water on a duck's back to you. So let that shit slide and get back on your grind, playmaker. You know Cowboys Nation got your back, and we will honor your legacy you've made for yourself and the championships that you helped bring to Dallas. Thank you for your commitment in bringing the Lombardi back to Dallas during your tenure as the wide receiver 1 for our Dallas Cowboys. And thank you to Jerry Rice for your contribution to the game overall. This makes me think about how powerful someone can be with a platform and a camera, Cowboys Nation. On some real shit, there is power in the tongue. Today, everybody has the ability to create their own platform and their own podcast. Today, everyone has an opinion, and it's easy to get said opinion out to the masses. What did Uncle Ben say to Spider-Man? With great power also comes great responsibility. The power in the tongue can speak life into a person, but it can also speak death. But for those that don't know, this marks my 2nd full year being a Dallas Cowboys content creator. During those 2 years, I've seen the highs and I've definitely seen the lows. When it comes to the negativity, the judgment, harsh critiques, it certainly can become extremely daunting. During the Playmakers video, he spoke about not going right on social media when he wakes up, and that's some smart shit to do, Cowboys Nation. Because when I do that, I find myself going to Cowboy social media, but I will get infected with negativity so much that it will sometimes throw my day off. An optimistic person can only take constant pessimism so much until it takes a toll on your psyche. And this is the thick skin that you hear some content creators speaking about. It's as if you have to put on this suit of armor every time that you make a video. Every time that you go live, every time that you post on social media, especially if the topic is about a controversial person or a player. One example that I can come up with is Dak Prescott. I know that if I'm making a video that has to do with Dak Prescott, I know that there's going to be a section of viewers and commenters that are going to talk down, that's going to nitpick, that's going to defame as well as defame you for even supporting them. It even goes as far as them making you try to feel bad for supporting said player. But I was texting with a gentleman on TikTok. Shout out to Oscar D Nations. I'm actually going to be joining him on his podcast as a guest on Sunday. I'll keep you guys informed and make sure you tune in. But the brother pretty much said that it was hard being a Dallas Cowboys fan because we get so much hate. As a content creator, the hate comes tenfold. You have the ones who hate Cowboys that are from a rival fan base. You got the ones who hate the Dallas Cowboys out of jealousy and envy. You have those that just want to argue. You have those Dallas Cowboys fans who actually hate themselves. You have those contrarians that always disagree with anything you say. And you have those trolls that just want to see you uncomfortable on the camera. Then you have those fans who speak on the game as if they can strap on the pads and helmet themselves and go out there and win a Super Bowl championship within their first year. They speak about the players like they're not professional athletes, as if they didn't do anything special to get the position that they're in. I can use Dak Prescott in this situation too. Day in and day out, I have to field comments talking about how Dak Prescott isn't it, Dak Prescott is ass, or how Dak Prescott is trash. I even had to field a comment on TikTok talking about how Dak Prescott isn't consistent. Honestly, 3 consecutive 12-5 seasons isn't consistent, then I don't know what is, Cowboys Nation. If 8 out of 10 trips to the playoffs isn't consistent, then I don't know what is, Cowboys Nation. If having over 3,500 passing yards each year that you're healthy isn't consistent, then I don't know what is, Cowboys Nation. My point is these content creators who speak as if the game is easy continue to undermine the work and the accomplishment that these men put in. A simple comparison can ultimately devalue a player. As fans, we're supposed to be here to give our honest opinions, our honest critiques, but like I've always said, there's constructive criticism and there's destructive criticism. Over and over again, I happen to see the destructive criticism wrapped up in the I'm just keeping it real bow. On some real shit, you're doing it wrong if you feel that you have to take away, that you have to degrade or put down a player in order to critique their game. And you're definitely doing it wrong trying to compare 2 different eras to each other because it will never work unless you're playing Madden Ultimate Team. So I'm going to continue to do my part as a Cowboys content creator. I'm going to give y'all my classy Cowboys content, but I'm strictly keeping it football. No putting someone down, no picking on these players. I will give my honest opinion though. That's not going to change, but I will certainly take into consideration my reach with this platform, the power that this platform has, and the ears that this platform reaches. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys Nation, what did you feel about what Michael Irvin had to say? How do you feel about the disrespect coming from the podcast and how Michael Irvin felt about said disrespect to the players before these players of this generation? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help get the channel to its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video and please consider sharing it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. And if you are DC for life and you represent and you got the back of the players past and present, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdowns, or Madden 26 or College Football 26 gameplay. And listen, Cowboys Nation, I will be going live with One Carolina today at 8 p.m. So make sure you tune in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can get the notification when myself and One Carolina goes live. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Good night and good morning, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.